All right, hello everyone, and hope everyone's doing really fine. My name is Saurabh Mutha, and I'm here to talk about the International Tax Elective. We're starting a brand new comprehensive International Tax Elective course for CA final students, whether you're attempting a December 21 or even the May 21, May 22. This is going to be really useful to you. What are the dates? We're starting it tomorrow from 6 to 9, that is Monday, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's going to happen over a month only on weekdays, 6 to 9 p.m. We're going to cover the entire module, all the sections, subsections, concepts, case studies, and examination focus completely, guys. So very interesting and very important lecture is what we're planning from tomorrow onwards. Today's lecture is a little about the fast track course that we're looking at CA final students. So I'm going to talk about that, and also to give you an idea of how I teach, I'm going to give you a small example of a really complicated topic that has been changed recently in transfer pricing. Enjoy the video and watch it till the end. But first up, guys, I'm just sharing on the screen a small PDF to give you an idea of what's happening. This is a fast track batch starting for CA final students. It's a December 21 attempt focus, and this one has all the top faculties of Yeshas partnered with Unacademy. You can get a subscription. One subscription, you'll get access to so many educators. That's the best thing about Unacademy. So if you're preparing for December 21 attempt, take no chances, subscribe and watch the videos. The best part is they're interactive. You can watch them live, you can watch them recorded, and they cover a lot of examination questions. So watch out. Yeshas is a code to use, so you get a discount on that as well. And that is what we're talking about. With respect to international tax elective, guys, this is for November 21, or sorry, December 21 now, and also the May 22 batch. So it's comprehensive, covers everything. A little background about me, who's taking the elective. I have worked with PwC and EY, both in direct tax, international tax department. So I get a little practical touch to things that are needed for better understanding. I'm going to show you one such topic today. I'm just going to cover one small topic right now, and I'll tell you how this topic is so good and so important, and some recent change also. So it could be a very small lecture, but a very important lecture from an exam perspective. We're talking about a chapter called transfer pricing, and in transfer pricing, we're talking about something that has changed recently. First up, let's take an example of what we're talking about. There is a company, I'm just putting this in the one corner. There's a company in India, which is part of an international multinational group called Pfizer India. So let's talk about Pfizer India. This part is India and that part is abroad, and they have many countries, many operations in many countries, but the main Pfizer is in the US. So I'm writing Pfizer USA. That's the parent entity of all the companies worldwide. Pfizer India, we are importing various medical products from Pfizer USA. We provide them services. We also pay them royalty. There are a lot of transactions. So first, is it an associate enterprise? Yes, it's an associate enterprise, section 92A, which is not the topic for today. Then is it an international transaction? Yes, it is an international transaction, 92B. And hence, do you have to compute the arm's length price? Yes, you have to compute. In fact, this is a formula. That's how I teach my students. It's very good shortcuts. A plus B is equal to C. Only if there's an associate enterprise relationship and there is an international transaction, do you compute the arm's length price. So 92A plus 92B is equal to 92C. So the year is over. This is the financial year. Let's say the financial year 21-22 is over, or it's going on and it's over. So what you need to do is, when you're doing these transactions, you along with the consultant of Pfizer India, you will have to look at the documentation, which we're going to talk about. As the documentation is generally given in 92D, D for documentation. That's a shortcut to remember documentation. A little about this documentation as what has changed. Guys, earlier documentation life was very simple. We had something called, there was section 92D. In that, they had said that you need to maintain a report from a CA, or any other consultant needs to maintain a report, which in our language is called a local file or a TP study report. It's called a local file. Local basically because it will cover Pfizer India's transactions with its associated enterprises. So it's a local file. It's also called the TP study report. It has to be basically maintained only if your transactions are more than 1 crore rupees. Why? Because otherwise, if your transactions are very small, the government doesn't want you to do all of this. So that was section 92D. Does it still continue? Yes, it still continues. You need to maintain this documentation. You don't have to file it. You have to maintain it. And whenever the assessing officer picks up your case and he demands this, you'll need to submit it within 30 days. So this is one formality which used to exist and it still exists. This is the local file. Plus, second thing is, which does not have any threshold. That means no 1 crore plus. You'll have to get an accountant's report, also called the audit report. Audit report or the accountant reports can only be given by a CA. He'll have to say which are the transactions you've undertaken. He'll have to determine arm's length price, basically say if they're arm's length or not, say the method which they've used, and this audit report is in a form called Form 3CEB. This form has to be submitted even if you have 1 rupee of international transactions. But if you don't have international transactions, nothing there, guys. So here there is no threshold. You have to, even if 1 rupee of international transaction, then this audit report has to be obtained from a CA and filed by 31st October. Why 31st October? Because your due date of filing return is 30th November. So 1 month before that, by 31st October, you need to file this. So this is under section 92E and this is 92D. How do you remember it? 92D is of course documentation, and the 92E is a very easy report. It's a very, very easy report, guys. This one, it's a very small report, and hence I call it 92E, the easy report. But what if you don't? What if you don't? Then in this, there is a penalty under section 271BA. I'll tell you a trick of how to remember it, of 1 lakh rupees. Not a very big penalty, honestly. 1 lakh rupees is what they're saying. And the section is section 271BA. Guys, I told you this is easy, 92E, and hence BA, guys, Bachelor of Arts, is a very easy degree. So I'm just going to link the two. That's the shortcut I have for this. 92E is the easy report, accountant's report. And if you don't file it, the penalties of 1 lakh under 271B. What about this local file or the TP study report? If you don't file this, then there is a penalty under section 271AA. That was BA, this is AA, and but this penalty is big. It's 2% of the value of international transactions. So whatever transactions you've entered into, 2% of that will be the penalty. Guys, this is the penalty, this is the formality. Is this still applicable? Very much applicable. Now, guys, OECD, which is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, they introduced 2 more requirements. In those 2 requirements, just 1 second. In those 2 requirements, we had to change our sections. So we had to amend and introduce some more provisions. So in section 92D only, we put a proviso and we said that if you are a constituent entity of an international group, first, I'll tell you what these words mean. That means if you're a part of an international group, constituent entity basically means an entity of an international group, like Pfizer India is an entity of the international Pfizer group. So if you're a constituent entity, C is the constituent entity in India, then you need to do one more thing. You'll have to file a master file. Guys, we didn't want to do this. OECD in the BEPS Action Plan 13, they said you have to do it, and hence we had to do this. So guys, this is for the local file, which we already had it. This we had to introduce for the master file. The master file basically means the entire Pfizer worldwide, Pfizer USA, Pfizer Singapore, Pfizer Bangladesh, Pfizer India. What do they do? What are the kind of transactions do they do? What is overall the group profile? That is basically the master file. Master, as you mean, master key is one key which opens every door. So this is one file which can be filed everywhere. So you need to file form 3CEAA. If you can't remember the form numbers, no problem, but you have to only file part A. Every constituent entity, yes. So India will have to do this. Yes, Pfizer India will have to do this. No threshold, no threshold. But you might even have to file part B. Watch this video again and again, guys, whenever you're revising it. Part B, you'll have to file if first thing, if the international group's turnover is greater than 500 crores, that means your sizable group, and B, if that is Pfizer India's international transactions are above 50 crores. And this 50 crores is 10 crores if it's intangible assets. If your international transactions are like paying royalty, etc., then it's 10 crores. I'll repeat, guys. What is this? We're talking about the second requirement, which is the master file, which came into recently. So this is important. It's every country has to file it. Yes, every country in India, they'll have to file it. It's called the master file. It's a basic document. It's basically not a file. It's you have to fill up this form. Part A you have to fill up. Everyone has to fill up. And part B only if your international group, that is Pfizer group, has turnover of more than 500 crores and you have transaction of more than 50 crores, international transactions, 10 crores in case of intangibles. What if you don't file this? Then again, section remains the same, 271AA, but a penalty of 5 lakhs. Not a very big penalty, honestly. 1 lakh was the lowest, 5 lakh is here. Not a very big penalty because this is not a very, very big requirement. But the biggest requirement, guys, is here, which is called the country by country report. Guys, country by country report means in whichever country you are, what are all the different entities doing? What is your overall revenue? What is the tax that you pay? What is the profit that you have? So overall, this gives you a good idea of the entire Pfizer group country wise. So it's country by country report. And this one, for that, they had to put a new section called section 286. Section 286 says that this country by country report is basically like how in your house, the main decisions are taken by your parents. So here, this country by country report first has to be filed by the parent entity. Or if the parent doesn't want to file it, they will designate an alternate reporting entity. So parent entity or alternate reporting entity has to file it. So in India, we don't have to file it. No, because in our case, our parent entity is in US. So either US will have to file it or alternate reporting entity will have to file it. So we don't have to do anything. No, we just have to tell the department. The constituent entity will have to just tell the department that, listen, he's going to file it in the US. So constituent entity has to intimate the department. And when do they have to intimate? After the year ends, this parent entity will get 12 months in their respective countries to file it. So we have to just intimate it. We'll do the timelines in some time. But first, CBCR, country by country report. It's basically an overall idea about the group entities, different countries, what is their revenue, what is their profit, what is their tax, etc. Who has to file it? If your parent entity is abroad, like our parent entity is in the US, they will have to file it there, or whichever alternate reporting entity they designate. So our responsibility is only to intimate the department that, listen, they have filed it. And if the department wants, they can call for that information from there. So guys, there is an exchange mechanism. So they will get the details from there. This is, guys, if the parent entity is abroad. This is if the parent entity is abroad. But what if you are like Tata Sons, where the parent entity is only in India? If the parent entity is in India, like Tata Sons, then the parent entity or the alternate reporting entity has to file the CBCR within 12 months. So they give you good amount of time. Yes, within 12 months you need to file. So guys, life is good. If you're abroad, then they have to file it. You have to intimate the department. And if you are in India, parent entity or ARE is in India, then they have to file it within 12 months. But guys, sometimes the Indian entity has to compulsorily file it. Why? I'm Pfizer India, there is Pfizer USA, there is Pfizer Singapore. Why do I have to file it? This is my parents' job. You'll have to file it under 3 circumstances. If any of the 3 circumstances are there: A, if that country does not have any CBCR requirements. So if that country does not have CBCR requirements, that country's entity will not file CBCR. So how will our country get it? So if that country does not have CBCR requirements, or that country does not share information, if there is the country does not have an agreement with India to share information, does not have a sharing agreement, or there is a failure, there is a systematic failure or systemic failure of sharing information. In these cases, the government wants the constituent entity in India, that is Pfizer India, has to file it. Guys, this is CBCR. Let me just revise CBCR. What is this CBCR? Country by country reporting. Guys, country by country reporting, for that we had to introduce a new section called section 286. In that, they said that mainly it's basically your parent entity has just to file. If your parent entity files, great. If your parent entity files, you just need to intimate the department that your parent entity has filed it. But if your parent entity cannot file it, let's say your parent entity is in India, then they have to file it within 12 months from the end of the year. And if basically you are in India, you're relaxed because you don't need to file it, but you might have to still file it. If that country in which your parent company, let's say Pfizer USA, does not have CBCR rules, or they don't have a sharing agreement, or they have not shared. And guys, here the penalties, the penalties are very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous, guys. You'll be unhappy just seeing the penalties here. I'm just talking about the CBCR penalties. Please be with me. The first penalty is inaccurate details. If you give something which is inaccurate or wrong, then they have a penalty of 5 lakh, which is still okay. But if you don't file, then for the first 30 days, it is 5,000 per day for the first 30 days. Then it becomes 15,000 per day after 30 days. And if they give you a notice of this penalty, that 5,000 or 15,000, the notice has come, and even after the notice you've been ignoring it, then it is 50,000 rupees per day. That's how high the penalties are. The penalty section, guys, is 271 GB. There's a shortcut for that also. I'll tell you in 2 minutes. Guys, if it's inaccurate, there is 5 lakh penalty, which is okay. But if you don't file, then it's a serious 5,000 for the first 30 days, 15,000 after that. And if they give you a notice of these 5,000, 15,000, then after that receiving of the notice, 50,000 per day. And if they have demanded some information, let's say in India, they want some information from you regard to the CBCR and you don't provide information, then 5,000 per day. And once you get the notice, after that, 15,000 per day. So here, thankfully, they don't have 50,000, but still the penalties are after the notice 15,000 and before that 5,000 per day. Guys, this is CBCR penalties. 3 penalties, be with me. So let's revise penalties, but after we finish this, 5 lakh rupees here. The most dangerous penalties are here. 5 lakh if inaccurate details, 5,000 per day for the first 30 days. So after that, 15,000. And if they send you a notice and still you ignore, 50,000 per day. And if they demand some information with respect to CBCR and you don't give it, 5,000 per day. And after the notice, 15,000 per day. This is 271 GB. And guys, in transfer pricing, 271 AA was TP study report, 2% of the value. 271 BA was easy accountants report, 1 lakh was the penalty, which was the first case. That is a local file. For the master file, the penalty was 5 lakh, which is pretty simple. And for the third case, I've written it above, so I'm not repeating it. These are the penalties for the third case. But there is one overall penalty, which if the government department has asked you some information during assessment, in the course of assessment, if they've asked you some information, generally when you go to the assessing officer, you start talking to him with respect and you'd call him G. That's how you call him G, Mr. Kumar G or whichever person G. So if you give him respect, but if you don't give him information under 271 G, 2% of the value of international transaction is the penalty. And same way, if you demand information and you don't give it, then under GB, there is under 271 GB, it is 5,000 per day or 15,000 per day after the notice. So GB is the G, but the bigger amount is 5,000 per day or 15,000, and the small G is 2%. Guys, this is penalty. This is the documentation. Just repeating, guys, this is as per BEPS action plan number 13. They had said a 3-tier documentation requirement. So India introduced it. We already had the local file. We had to add the master file. We had to add the CBCR. Master file penalty is 5 lakh. CBCR has very great penalties, and TP study was always there. 92E is easy. BA is easy. That's one shortcut. CBCR, you don't have to do anything. A parent entity has to do it. But unless the parent entity is in India and you are the parent entity, then you'll have to do it. And in 3 cases, that's important, guys, where you'll have to file it compulsory. Guys, that's the discussion on documentation. Very important because kind of new. This is new. And this could be a thing in the exam as well. So watch this video whenever you're revising. And just like this, guys, this is limited time, but if you give me more time, I'll explain every concept very, very well with these kind of shortcuts in the International Tax Elective course. See you there. Thank you so much.